Hey, how are you doing? The guy that's renting my property here in Lexington, he's a veteran. He got a home loan and he has two kids and he loves living out of my land, but he's in his 40s and he wants a house for his children, and that's totally understandable. So he says he's going to leave now that he's got a home loan. He loves staying on my land, and so I put it up for rent, and man, people have been busting my door down to rent it. I mean, I understand it. It's a beautiful piece of quiet land, and right here in Lexington, Kentucky. I didn't think there'd be that many people so quickly, but whew, a lot. Before getting to the heart of this video, I'm not a person that pushes stuff. I don't actually push anything. I'm talking about this on live stream. I'll have the link for it below. I've owned the most expensive radios that money can buy. I'm not bragging. ICOMs, Kenwoods, Yaesus. For an emergency, say you wanted to actually go out and get some emergency radios like walkie-talkies, like the best, really expensive, 3 watts plus really is the average. Well, these will put out 10 watts, not only on that wafer. The best, it just keeps getting better and better. It does come with 2 antennas. This is one of them, Take the antenna off here. It's this little Baofeng radio. Yes, made in China. And like I said, I've owned the most expensive radios money can buy. This is technically a 5-bander, and I'm not talking about for reception, but also too for transmission. And it picks up FM radio, aircraft. It transceives on 2 meter. I have a ham license. 2 meter, 440, and 1.25 meter, i.e. 220 megahertz plus range. And the walkie-talkie frequencies, it transceives on those, but at way higher wattage output than if you were to spend unlimited amount of funds for the best walkie-talkie communication radio so you can stay in contact in an emergency. Absolutely ridiculous. And what's the cost of this radio? Let me turn it on here.
Welcome. Frequency mode.
Information.
This is that was on NOAA weather radio. I forgot it picks up NOAA weather radio.
On.
This is FM. Put it back on there. I actually hit the button wrong. I had it on FM. That's just NPR. And it has a little color display too, by the way.
Welcome. Frequency mode.
$22.91 currently. I know Amazon has to be making like $5 profit. Lithium pack. Did I mention it transceives on 5 different bands? So if you wanted, I'm looking for some really good emergency walkie-talkie frequency radios. Oh, did I forget? It'll also, too, transceive on the marine bands. I forgot about that. You get that, it would get the walkie-talkie frequencies with way higher 10 watts output, and 2 meter, and 440, and 1.25 meter, and NOAA weather radio, and FM frequency, for listening to news or broadcasting. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea how they're able to produce these at that price, but that's what they are. Under $23. Comes with 2 antennas, the charger. It comes with 2 chargers. Also, 2 in the back. It actually comes with a dock charger. But also, 2 comes with a USB-C cable. You probably already have one anyway, but it comes with a USB-C cable, so you can actually charge it like a secondary battery. If I could actually flip this back and charge it in the back here on the USB-C port. So you just take the battery off and charge it autonomously. Absolutely amazing. There's very few things that blow my mind on that front, but that really is quite amazing. Like I said, the link for that is below. If you want to know the model number, it's the Baofeng 5RM, but the link is below. Yeah, they're $22.91. At least they were last night. Absolutely unbelievable. I spent decades looking for the best of the best books, and I don't praise empirical knowledge. I'm not about filling my head with facts, and I'm certainly not against somebody who has a head full of facts, but I don't confuse empirical knowledge with wisdom. They're meant to be stepping stones. By standing on the shoulders of giants, you're able to see even further. There's only 500 copies of this book left, and I'm going to talk about a bunch of books, but including this one. This is Francis Yates's of Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. This is printed on a slick, acid-free paper. It's printed in Canada. The only way you could actually get a better bound copy than this would be some, really old, hand-stitched, genuine leather-bound copy of some rare old book that's in the $5,000 plus range. I mean, I've seen some books that nobody wants to buy that are that quality, some sort of oddball stuff like cooking from hundreds of years ago. But the printing on this is absolutely excellent. It actually has a lot of diagrams in it, including color diagrams and illustrations. I'd like to talk about that in a second. Of course, Giordano Bruno is an amazing read. He was removed from this world at the stake by the Catholic Church for heresy. Really, he was a Hermeticist, but also, too, a Neoplatonist. All early Christian mystics were secret or crypto Neoplatonists. This is really an undeniable fact. This is by Francis Yates, Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition. Tons of illustrations. He extended the Copernican model of the universe, and like I said, Bruno was, in the Roman Inquisition, he was taken out, by a nice little pile of burning wood, if you know what I mean. He proposed that the stars were suns and that life existed on other planets. Here's some of my favorite quotes from Giordano Bruno. Magicians can do more by means of faith than physicians can by means of truth. Unless you make yourself equal to God, meaning the absolute, however, you cannot understand God, for the like is not intelligible, except unto the like itself. You actually have to think about that last part. It's not traditional type of modern English in the way that we actually talk or think, but in other words, like unto like, essentially. You can't understand it unless you were like that, or you were in that position, essentially. The gems of philosophy are not less precious because they are not understood, meaning by the ignorant masses. This is something I've been saying for most of my life. This is a quote from Bruno. It is a proof of a base and low mind for one to wish and think with the masses or the majority, merely because the majority is the majority. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. This is kind of a summation of my statement that nothing true is popular and nothing popular is true. There really is, and I've said this a million times, a short path to a superior mind, and it doesn't involve memorization. Memorization is garbage. This is all you learned in public school system. Go home and read chapters 2 through 4, and we're going to have a multiple guess test. This is not learning. This is not education. This is not elevating the spirit. This is not elevating the mind. Today, everybody's packing around a cell phone. If you want a bunch of useless facts like the capital of Nebraska, you could pull it up on your phone. I'm not against knowledge. I am against, in this short life, and life is short, of wasting time on pathetic memorization. It is not important. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it is not important. There is a reason why, and all of history proves me to be true. And who talks about this on YouTube or in public school system or in Harvard or Princeton? The answer is nobody does. Nobody does. I mentioned it many times, and I'll tell it to you right here, right now. The stuff that people, I said, go download this book. It's a free download, not this book. Go download this book, and I dare you to try to read a page or two of it, like Nikola Tesla's favorite book, which is, I was about to say Inquiry to the Nature of the Human Soul by Andrew Baxter, but, or De Divina Proportione, but it's Theoria Philosophiae Naturalis, A Theory of Natural Philosophy by Roger Boscovich. And people are like, you're right, I got a PhD from college, I can't read more than a page and a half of it, and even that I don't know what it's saying. These people, and the wisest minds who wrote the wisest stuff, through ancient history. They didn't read 1/100th of the garbage that the typical human being, whether they be smart or dumb, was forced to read and partially memorize only long enough to take a multiple guess test. They read a minimum of 2 or 3 times just a small collection of works. And they had to understand them, they had to think about it. I mean, as you could turn your brain off and read anything. I can open this book anywhere with my eyes closed and just start reading. The angels, according to the theologians, follow the same 3 groupings. Seraphim, cherubim. And you memorize that for a test. What did you learn? You didn't learn anything! You prepped your mind to take a test, and that's all these schools care about. Well, you know, you got a passing grade. He's really good at memorization. He'll make a really good worker drone robot in the future. Like a Borg, right? He'll make an excellent drone. Remember that from the Star Trek thing where they assimilate you? You will be assimilated. He'll make an excellent drone. That's all public schools and colleges are doing, is trying to create drones. I have to say this again because it's some of the wisest words. Sure, yeah, wise words for me. I don't care what you think about me. The facts prove me out over and over again. These great masters that wrote some of the books that I'm telling you about, including this. This is by Francis Yates, but it's about like Expulsion of the Triumphant Beast and a bunch of other stuff. It's just Hermeticism and Neoplatonism. Collectively, you know, the Catholic Church roasted him like a marshmallow. You know it's got to be good, right? The Catholic Church got rid of him in the Roman Inquisition. You know it's good material. These people only studied a handful of texts. A stack of books about like this. It's like, well, that's a lot of books. Over the entire lifetime from like a young age until adulthood, basically about this many books. Yeah. Plato, Aristotle, Plotinus, Copernicus, you know, it depends on where you were in the world. Some people didn't have any knowledge, much less access to some of these great texts. You don't have to. Doesn't that make you happier that you can like cut out 80% of the time that you've wasted in this short life? You know, if I could go back in time and, you know, pull myself out of public school system and just study. As far as along, and I knew this at a young age, I knew all the teachers that I had were fools. I knew it from skin to bones. I knew they were fools. Like, I'm going to learn from the masters, and all this memorization garbage is just absolutely useless. I knew they were all fools. And of course, I was right. Not only right, extremely right. And people need to understand this. Being pithy also too vitally important. I've made it my goal to best these people. I have. Not in my writings, which of course is important, but in understanding. You know? You can write really eloquent stuff, but I mean, if it doesn't get to the heart of the matter, and you don't have full, spontaneous synthesis of this material within your mind, you know, all you've either done is memorized it or parroted it, which is essentially the same thing, by the way. You don't grasp it. I, in live stream, talk to like 300 people at once. I don't have to admit, like, what did so-and-so say about this? Or what did Plotinus say about this? I don't have to do any of that. I made it my own. And I've bested them. None of these experts and supreme masters, you know, you think I'm tooting my horn right now. You fine, think that, I don't care. You know, I put together one page last week. It's just one page. It's very small font, but it's only one page. It's the synopsis of the entire universe, top to bottom, left to right, front to back. Being pithy, life is short. I know I've repeated myself many times on this front in the past few minutes, but it's so important. I mean, do you really want to waste your life reading garbage that isn't going to help you? You know, you should be sticking to the gold. Anybody could be, you know, reading the discarded toilet paper. Why? Stick to the gold. Life is short. It's like, here's the gold. It's a free. I'll tell you where you can get it for free. By the way, this book, I said there's only 500 copies left. And now, have I been remunerated on this? No, I've been given 4 free copies to give out to my friends, and I've already given out 3 of the copies of this particular book. I don't consider that any type of compensation. I'm sorry, I really don't, you know. It's not like, you know, I appreciate that, and I've given them out, and my friends were appreciative because it's a great book. The other books that I highly recommend, and I have a list of these books below, in top recommended books in the description, is Universal 1 by Walter Russell. Here's a guy that got really, really close on a lot of fronts. Walter Russell, Universal 1. She's the only living author that I respect. She's Irish. She's retired to Uganda. She's a super sweet lady. I love her. She loves me. Not that kind of way, huh? Her name is Deirdre Caribbean. She's written many books. One book you could download, not download, excuse me, or order on Amazon. It was super, super rare until I started pushing the book and it went back into print because of me. You're welcome. It's called The Unknown God by Deirdre Caribbean. By the way, it's in top recommended book list down in the description of this video. The other one, and I have it right under here underneath the laptop. I don't have to pull the book out. It's propping up my laptop right now. I got many copies of it. It's Metaphysics, collection of articles by Dr. Anandakirti Kumaraswamy. Knew 27 languages, was an expert metaphysician. I was friends with his son, Dr. Ramapi Kumaraswamy. Another one of his books that I highly recommend, and I recommend a lot of his books, almost all of them really, except for his early book on Buddhism, which is quite horrific, but he wrote it when he was young, no big deal. It's called Guardians of the Sun Door by A.K. Kumaraswamy. There's two different versions of the Upanishads I recommend. One was a translation by Swami Nikalananda. It's the Principal Upanishads. It comes in 4 volumes. The Upanishads, excuse me, the title is called the Upanishads. Just type in Swami Nikalananda. That's also too in the description of this video on top recommended books. The other one is by used to be President of India, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. It's called the Principal Upanishads. It has Romanized Sanskrit, and then it has the English translation. It's really brilliant, thick, hardcover copy book that you can get like used on eBay really cheap still. I recommended this endlessly for sharpening your brain. I've had countless thousands of people read it, usually more than once. I'm like, you're right. I mean, I can think so much better than I used to. I mean, I went to a prestigious college, and just reading this book sharpened my brain up. It's called The Petaphesian by John the Scot, or John Scotus Erugena, who, by the way, his students took him out with the tips of their pens. Yeah, he had a classroom full of students. This is considered a heresy against Christianity. His students did this number with their ballpoint pens. Ugh! Imagine going out that way, taken out by a bunch of ballpoint pens for being considered a heretic. Yeah, the same sort of heretic we have here. There used to be an old saying about people that are considered heretics by demonic entities. It's like, you know, if the Roman Inquisition took this guy out by a nice toasty fire, you know it's got to be good. There doesn't get a better recommendation than that, is there? Any and all translations by Thomas Taylor, the best Greek translator who ever lived, especially like the works of Iamblichus and Proclus, and this partial translation of Plotinus. Porphyry, such as launching points to the realm of the mind. Meet me in live stream if you can't find a copy of that book, if you know what I mean. Porphyry, launching points to the realm of the mind. He was a disciple of Plotinus, by the way. There's 2 primary works of Advaita Vedanta, which is basically Indian monism. It's called the Upadisa Sahasrara, which just means 1,000 teachings, by Sri Sankaracharya, also too called Adi Sankara. And the other one is the Vivechudamani. If you have an issue with that, I have that also too in the description of this video if you need help on how to write that out, so you can type it in. And these are printed in India, and they're really, really cheap. They're like $13. So very, very cheap. There is a short path, I'm saying again, to a superior mind, a sharper mind. You can have a toolbox in your head. You could know how to think. All these people, to a greater or lesser degree, and I'm recommending to you the best, humanity is still very much unevolved. Even the best of these were still stabbing in the dark at the truth in many different vectors. I've always, as I said, see further by standing on the shoulders of giants. I've done that. Whether you agree or not, I've done that, I could have 100% negative comments at the bottom of this video, and it won't even affect me one whit because I know I've done it. And I've sacrificed a lot to get there. I wouldn't have had to if I'd, It's just all that time wasted in public school. But even when I was in public school, I knew it was a waste. Anyway, there's less than 500 copies of this left. I know what quality books are because I have countless thousands of books, and they're really good stuff. Acid-free slick paper. I love the slick paper. I don't know why. Some people love the rough paper better. It's easier to actually scan through the slick paper. Printed in Canada. Really nice hardcover. I'll take the cover off here. You can actually see it. Last time, people thought they weren't going to run out of the book that I wrote the introduction to, Thomas Taylor's Plotinus. But it did, and people were like, oh my God, we're going to get this book. It's like, even I don't have spare copies to give you or anything. You know, I said that there were not many that left, and they're all gone. But I want to buy a copy. He's like, yeah, but I've been telling people for months that they're about all gone, and you know, it wasn't like some sort of hype or marketing hype. It's that they're gone. So here it is. It is a really high quality printing, and I mean that. It's sad that you actually got to go back hundreds of years and spend a lot of money to get really high quality printed books. But of course, the quality is about what's between the covers. Obviously so. I mean, that's a no duh. I don't think I need to state the obvious on that front, do I? I don't think I do. But you should realize, because it's undeniable and not my opinion, that life is short and your time is best spent, not wasted reading trash. I can always tell what somebody knows and understands by the stuff they recommend you read. And people don't know. They just don't have a broad spectrum of experience. Some people also, too, might have a broad spectrum of experience, but they have inferior, clueless minds, to be blunt, and they don't know what the heck a good book is. I don't read fiction. I haven't read fiction stuff since I was a teenager, so I don't care about fiction. I know people want to be entertained and they like to read a good fiction. I don't have time for that because life is too short. But these are the masters, and this is a really good a read, and it's a good book to have, and it'll last multiple generations. Thank you so much for watching, and check out this radio. I've never been so amazed by something that's so cheap.
Welcome.
And I have other Baofeng radios.
Lows in the upper 30s.
$23 for this, and it transceives on 5 different bands, picks up NOAA weather radio, picks up FM radio. And if you just wanted a set of walkie-talkies, just like walkie-talkie frequencies only, but this does a ton more than walkie-talkie frequencies. It's putting out 10 watts. Hello? You could spend $300 and buy the best pair of walkie-talkies. I got another one over here somewhere. Here it is. Of course, I got people like, why do you got 2 of them? They're $23. It's kind of amazing. It takes a lot to surprise me. It's like, how on earth? Because Amazon's making $5 maybe. So that means that China is producing these for like $18. It's impossible. You couldn't go into Amazon and get a piece of garbage that did FM and NOAA weather radio only, and there are stuff like that. It just does FM radio and NOAA weather radio warnings, yeah? Even that piece of garbage is 9 times out of 10 more expensive than this, which does 100 times more than that. So I rest my case on that one. People like live streams like, why should I buy this? And I told them, and they're like, wow. Anyway, only less than 500 copies of Giordano and Bruno left. So check it out. If you're interested, it's your last chance to get one. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Right? Right? I got my copy in the back. This has actually been be given to a friend of mine.